Hey, how are you? My name is Felt. Welcome back to Match of the Gathering Arena, and today we have... it's a meme deck. I don't... This deck has won more games than it has any right to have won. For those of you who don't get what's happening, this is the most important card of the deck. Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree. For 10 mana, you sack it, and you slam a bunch of Praetors. What Praetors are we slamming? Elish Norn, Shieldred, Elish Norn, Jin-Gitaxias, Shieldred, Vorinclex, Jin-Gitaxias. We could run more copies of each of them, but in order to not die to get the wombo combo of flipping into like 6 people, on average, I need to run lots of spot removal, ossification leyline binding, a sweeper or two like Sunfall, tons of ramp with Joint Exploration of Zeus's Mini Journeys and the Topiary Stomper itself, as well as Invasion of Zendikar. In my experience, you could probably cut like a tiny bit of the ramp for a couple more Praetors, but the Praetors are all so expensive, you almost don't want to draw them and play them. You can like naturally play like Vorinclex, he's not a bad thing to play out, or Jin-Gitaxias, but honestly I don't really recommend you play this deck. This deck is a meme. The mana base, it's all over the place. The nicest thing is that when Vorinclex lands, he allows you to go get forests. You want to know what's a forest? Zeotor's Proving Ground, Jetmir's Garden, and Spar's Headquarters. They're all forests, so you can get them when Vorinclex lands and use them to cycle, or use them to just play lands out. I'm going to include a lot of games. I'm probably going to have to record a lot of games because I don't think this deck will fare well in the queue, but I have been playing it in ranked, and it's won more than it's lost so far, but only by a tiny bit. But yeah, let's hop right into it and let whatever the hell this is begin. Opponent going first. This hand good. This is a turn 2 Aussie or turn 2 Leyline Binding, depending on what my opponent is playing and doing, because Rafine's Tower plus Mountain means that... Actually, technically speaking, I guess it depends on what we want to do. Because these two lands, there's a lot of different combos like this, where you have like one land that has white on it, and then another land that has a bunch of other colors. There's a handful of these starting hands in the deck, where on turn 2 you can have a 1-costed Leyline Binding. You don't need to have a basic for ossifications, so just always watch out for that. I do kind of like this hand because we can Joint Exploration on turn 3, as long as we go Rafine's Tower into Proving Grounds. That's probably what we're going to do. The Sunfall's not going to get played anytime soon unless we hit an extra white source though, but it's a 5-mana spell anyways, so, man. Alright, what do we got, opponent? Mono red, here we go. This deck does really poorly into mono red. It's why I talked so much about not recommending it in the intro. My opponent actually there? Are they okay? Oh, they're looking at their cards. Oh my god, they played a card. Alright, really, deck? That's a little toxic, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you can always do like a little haphazard guess here of looking at one of the lands and be like, okay, well if I play this, now it's 1-costed. You do kind of have to play a little bit of the... What is my opponent playing? On the plus side, we got our second white source for the Sunfall. If my opponent tries to go wide with anything, we're Gucci. They do have blue mana, but it doesn't hurt to try and join Explore here. So they're actually Grixis. I am incredibly confused now. I guess I could have held that, huh? Oh well, it's fine. I am actually confused. Okay. Is that your whole game plan? Do you have another negate? Or is it just a spell pierce? It's a fading hope. Confusing. Guess I'm just gonna kill the token. So it's mono red dragons? But it's Grixis. Actually, no, it's probably just Izzet. My opponent is now terrified of the fact that I played a Leyline Binding, I guess. Joke's on them, I mostly just have Are you really like that obvious over there, opponent? Let's go ahead and just do this. They're apparently that obvious. Let's do it like this, because then we get to put the land on the battlefield for free. My opponent is indeed that obvious, alright. They clearly have a burn spell of some sort over there. Bye-bye, Delver. Yeah, it's clearly a burn spell. Nothing's resolving or, like, hitting the sticky, quote-unquote, until stuff actually hits the battlefield. We'll go get our extra black source, I guess. We have double blue. Now we have double black. So if we naturally draw a Praetor, we should be fine. I think my opponent might be going for, like, a one-turn kill or some shenanigans. What in tarnation are they doing? Speaking of what in tarnation, hello, Shelly! One of the better Praetors. I should probably go up to 2 copies of Shelly, but I really like this deck list as is. They only have 2 open mana, so at best they make a 2/2 guy. I guess they just, like, really, really want that 2/2 token. I guess having that 2/2 is more important to them than anything else under the sun. They have to find a way to kill Shelly, but they could have a burn down the house. Okay. Are they, like, are they playing in full control? Because, like, they've gone through priority sticks really, really fast on some of these turns, and really, really slow on other of these turns. It's very confusing. I can pay the 4, but thanks. Guess we'll just swing in with both then. Keep that life total going on down, baby. Don't know why they, like, thought about who to block. It doesn't matter. They both do 4 damage. My opponent is definitely out of instance over there. You got a 4/4. Congrats. I am literally going to kill you now. I guess technically they could, like... No, they just die. Okay, cool. I don't quite know what I was playing against there other than a mana-screwed opponent, but hey, this deck will need literally every iota of help it can get. I will take it. GG's. Whatever the fuck that was. We're going first. We got double green and a Topiary Stomper, and we can maybe do that if we hit a blue. We're keeping. Get an extra white for Sunfall. It's beautiful. Means you have to be weirdly careful about what we play around with the Topiary Stomper. Do wish we had a... I kind of wish the Invasion of Zendikar was instead a, not an Invasion of Zendikar. I also wish my opponent wasn't playing Mono Red, because I'd like to play a fun match of Magic, not cry my little eyes out match of Magic. But alas, we cannot win them all. On the plus side, it looks like my opponent's playing a very slow Mono Red match, which bodes well for me. That's our second white, that's fine. Topiary Stomper's going to be able to block as early as next turn. Let's go grab a blue source. That is a 4/4. You could double play with Fire It. Seems a little silly, though. I'm not going to lie. It also just physically can't be blocked, right? Or can't block or attack right now. Strange. Alright, well, we get to flip Invasion of Zendikar here. We do get to flip it regardless of what my opponent does, because... Or, well, I mean, I guess they could technically block. But we'll get an extra black and an extra blue. You can block that if you wanna. Sure. Maybe we'll get to flip that, maybe we won't. We have another Topiary Stomper in hand, though, so that bodes well. That's annoying, but we might find something. I feel like making my opponent play a Lightning Strike to deal with my Topiary Stomper. Not exactly the wildest of plays out of Mono Red right now. Get an extra green. Let's go searching for the, not those. Shieldred will fly. Shieldred will be really hard for them to deal with. They need 4 damage to... Is my opponent, like, stacking their deck in Arena? Is that possible? By God, I wish I knew. Alright, well, this will be fine. We can just Sunfall them first, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We have exactly enough to Sunfall and Shieldred. Bye-bye. And Shieldred will be very hard for them to deal with, and she will keep gaining us life as long as we can draw cards. Which will hopefully be very many, many much cards. My opponent's probably just going to try and hunt for, like, removal spells. This is the only downside of this deck compared to, like, the Atraxa version. The Atraxa version just, they're struggling over there. The Atraxa version just has Archangel of Wrath here. In this slot. Oh, my opponent is really hurting themselves here. Kumano faces Gakazan. We can cycle the Spara's headquarters here. That'll gain us a little bit of life. That'll be nice. We don't even need to swing with Shieldred. She can just be a body right now. Topiary Stomper is just thinning the deck. If my opponent will let me thin the deck. Thank you. Honestly, we can just hard play all of our Praetors. That is definitely a possibility. We're holding this in case they find a way to kill Shieldred, and we need to just draw to gain life really fast. We only have the one Shieldred, we do need to be careful, and I don't believe I slotted Attack and Numa because I just wanted all the basics I could to search up. Now we have a really big board presence, nice beefy butts. That's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. That only does 3 damage. Let us go tap, 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 just in case we hit a Leyline Binding here. We did not, but that is A-okay. Yeah, that just takes out one thing. Let us play the Azusa's Many Journeys to make sure we gain life on our next turn. And they're just scooping because Shieldred and the Big Booty Bunch, as I like to name them, you know, the BBB, are just gonna be a big old problem for Mono Red. That was really lucky. Honestly, I feel like this deck should lose matchups into Mono Red. We don't run enough life gain outside of Shieldred. But hey, a dub's a dub. I hate it. I hate it, but it's okay. I'd rather keep the Joint Exploration, honestly. I think this makes it be a 1-coster because the red and black. Yeah, that was a really lucky draw. That means that Leyline Binding is a 1-drop spell, so when they play something like a Wedding Announcement, we can bind it. This is obviously Orzhov control of some sort, or probably like Orzhov mid-range. We will get to ramp with multiple Stompers. That will be lovely. We have double green already, but I wouldn't hate even more green. I kind of want double blue in case I find a Jenny G, because Jenny G is really good into any type of control deck like that. Okay, they missed a land drop. Bodes well for me. They're probably holding back on a removal spell because they're like, oh, I don't need to cast it right now. I mean, well, you maybe do. There's double black. We have double white in hand. No, they're just swamp cycling. What the fuck? Honestly, if you're, like, missing a land drop, you should just, like, main phase that sumbitch. Also, we've hit the point with Joint Exploration where it is now a draw spell. Topiary Stompers also put a really short clock on a lot of decks. If you can get out multiple of them early. My opponent's gonna swamp cycle again. No, they're going to end main. In place of saving a tiny bit of life, I guess they just want multiple little vigilance boys and girls. This is now basically a card draw spell because we have lands in hand, and not really a raid spell. Did they really just play that to, Honestly? Yeah, we're gonna do this. Because they can't do anything else while that's on the stack. So because they had to do it like this, we get to take away their Wandering Emperor. We get to main phase this. We don't want either one of those right now. Dang it, I wish I had, like, had just a tiny bit more mana for the Jenny G. Invasion of Tolfada. Little annoying. Oh, is that it? Is this just like, I have a 7/7 now? That's cute. I have a Jinkataxis! What are you gonna do about him? He's cool, right? I'm not gonna lie, this is, like, really weird. Like the invasion of Tolvada, like everything here. It's very confusing, I cannot lie. It seems like someone wanted to do like a reanimator deck type thing and was like, how do I do things? This shuts them off really hard, like all the way down. We could double block as well, but they'd probably kill off Jenny G, which is pretty important for our defenses right now. No, we can just like swing back in after this probably. And we'll see. Shieldred. That's nice. Say hi to Shelly. Which means they have to make sure they sack that guy. They clearly have a Wandering Emperor in hand. We do get to thin out our deck even more here. Fortunately, my opponent doesn't really have anything in the graveyard. If they do play something, we get to flip Shieldred here, but they're probably just going to board wipe us. But we have a Jenny G, so they need to do it twice. Someone didn't read Elish Nord! Oh no, the poor babies! They didn't read Elish Nord. Is that not just like lethal on the way back? Ah, but they have tons of life gain, don't they? Thin the deck. The best they can do is block 5 Damahe. Taking 12 in the process. Pretty bad. I wish I had enough mana to flip Elish Norn with them having enough in their graveyard. But alas, things are rough out here. The best they can do is play, like, Planeswalkers to take care of my threats. But they, like, just... A lot of removal for a deck like this will just be, like... Apparently very spicy. Opponent, you okay? You have a board wipe in there? Ah, they just have a second render inert to get back their, I don't know, their 7/7? But, like, wait, hang on. Isn't this still lethal? Oh, wait, no, they get 2 of them now. Right. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, they're not doing that. They get 2 of them now. Alright, let's do some math. Math is very difficult. So, we swing in with everything. 4 goes through. 4 goes through. So 12 damage gets through. They gain back 6. That's not lethal. However, if we get a Leyline Binding, I think that flips it around. Because it triggers twice due to Elish Norn. I think we got him. I think that's lethal, because they only have 2 open mana. Yeah, you only get 1 blocker there, so I think that's just lethal now. Oh, that was the top deck of the century. Oh, man. I can't believe we pulled that out. That opponent has got to be maulding. I had fun. Elish Norn doing work. They didn't get stuff back for free. I got double removal. They didn't get a second blocker. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That was beautiful. We're going first. I'm kind of okay with it because we're on the play. Terrain Exploration will help us draw something on turn 2. We have 2 Realm Breakers in place in case they're playing control. I think this is a don't play the Topiary Stomper, honestly. I think this is just to play a Realm Breaker. Ah, but it's a Kami. We need to find a board wipe now. Not those. Shield's really not a board wipe, I'm sorry. If we do this, we get to play Vorinclex on curve, which means we get to find lots of lands. Make sure we get a black source. Vorinclex will be a big boy. That's annoying as shit. This means they get to make a copy of Calyx, right? Oh wait, no, it doesn't. I'm silly. Get to play Vorinclex. Honestly, just go get, like, both the black lands, and we can play Azusa's Many Journeys, and they easy! Oh, it's so easy! Just make them scoop! I don't think they knew that I had nothing. I don't think they knew that I had 2 Realm Breakers, a Shieldred, and an Azusa's Many Journeys. I think they were guessing that I had some crazy play on the next turn. GG's. Opponent goes first. We have an okay hand. Don't love it. We do have all the white we need for Sunfall, though, so I don't hate it. I guess we keep it. Tapped, untapped, mini journeys, tower. Well, it gets a little better with that. I think technically if they play a threat we want to remove, we just, Oh, it's the deck that everyone thinks is good, but it's not actually good. What do I mean by that? It's the, like, tokens sacrifice nonsense deck where they just run the... Oh, never mind. They're in Orzhov. I take it back. They're not that bad. They're not good, but they're not that bad. Wedding Announcement is like infinite card draw for them, but Jadar is infinite creatures, so I don't know which I care about more. Let's see what they play, and then I'll decide on the fly. You know, blow up my Asusa's mini journeys over there. They typically have like a disenchant type effect, but that doesn't, Are you really gonna hit my Realm Breaker? That's so toxic. Alright, well they're doing this, so we'll just hit Jadar in response. So toxic. No one wants this deck to have any fun. Oh, hey. Found a spare one laying in the backyard. Sorry, opponent. They could do it again, but that is their entire turn to blow up Realm Breaker. And I don't really think they want to do that, but I could be wrong. That's not instant, so we do get an entire turn of getting to go. What do you play? Give me life. We can just ossify. Just make life a little easier for ourselves. I think they have a Wandering Emperor. That's why they're, like, sitting here staring at priority. Right? Oh my god, how does he do it? It's almost like it's one of the most common cards in the format to play when you have 2 open white mana.
Then may your blade strike true.
Cool, Sunfall's gonna do so much work.
Let your blade do the talking.
I really hope they go after the Leyline Binding to get back Jadar, but I know I'm not that lucky. I am so lucky! Oh my goodness, I am so lucky! No blocks. This is not sarcasm. I get a real big friend. I get a real big friend. I hope I get another green for Void Collect soon. He would really tip things over in my favor if I could just land him. But alas, can't win them all. Does Enter the Field tapped? It does tapped. I wish it came in untapped if it wasn't like a thing. If my opponent does the plus, that means they have to keep protecting it with their tokens. If they do the minus, that means they no longer have tokens.
Remember your training.
If I draw an extra untapped source, do we just Sunfall again? I don't think we do. They clearly have something over there, but I don't know what it is. Let's flip. Go after the Emperor. Fortunately for myself, I don't really have to worry too much here. About too much. My opponent, they're not really doing that much, I'm not gonna lie. They're just kind of dawdling around with random crap. Ah, Kaya Geist Hunter. What an interesting thing.
A world of ghosts to hunt. Oh, I've made friends in all kinds of places.
So I get a really big thing again with
May
Sunfall.
your blade strike true.
That'll be fun. Unfortunately, dealing with Planeswalkers is pretty annoying, but I can't really do anything about it. Maybe we can just, like, slowly mill them out. We're hitting some pretty good stuff, I will say. Only 9. We need one more land. We do get to play Vorinclex, maybe get it, though.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Need a weapon? I got plenty.
Let's just keep milling them. Doesn't look like they really have that much left to give. Bonk Kaya. She's a little annoying. And now my opponent has to worry about Shieldred, so they might not even want to go after the Realm Breaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 mana shy from being able to play, replay. Or like play, activate. Ah, okay, well that's really nice, but I'm about to get a billion things. Maybe they just really think they have a board wipe worth using over there? Super fun fact, we get double ETB triggers here. Which is pretty sick if you ask me. Also, that was a juicy noise. In case you're wondering why I'm not like freaking out about, oh my goodness, I got to activate the thing. I've played a lot of games with this deck. I've played a lot of games with this deck. Oh no, you have to sacrifice 2 non-token creatures or planeswalkers opponent. Yeah, it's pretty rough out there. And my opponent has enough in the graveyard that I can just like flip Shieldred. Opponent? Everyone forgets Jin-Gitaxias! Everyone forgets him! The number... Most of the games that I win, when I get to flip it, it's, oh man, look at all those things. Shieldred cleans up board, Vorinclex fills my hand. And then they try and remove something. And Jin-Gitaxias counters it. And they go, oh. Right. This is why he's in the deck. And this is why I typically don't even go for the activation if he's not at least on board. I don't know if that's going to show up in this game. GG, Zorzov, mid-range. Opponent goes first. If we really need to remove something, we can headquarters into this Leyline Bind. Otherwise, we just play Asusa's Mini Journeys, I believe. Opponent went down to 6. Makes me think control or aggro. Probably not mid-range, but I could be wrong. I just found that most mid-range decks don't actually go down to 6. This is terrible. Nope, it is mid-range. It's 5-color mid-range. Weird. I do mean weird. I just usually don't see this. This variant. I think this is the one that usually runs Invasion of Alara. Nope, wrong again. I don't know what my opponent is playing. Alright, mana ramp. We'll go get a second green and then a red source. Red source is really just for the Leyline Binding. Maybe we can find a Sunfall eventually. Did you get to draw a card here? They get to draw 2 cards here. Honestly, because they're just drawing cards, this doesn't really bother me. I think we'll just kind of let it go. This is beautiful. My opponent, buddy, you have 1 mana. The reason this is beautiful, by the way, Leyline Binding now hits both of their things. I guess we're just going to manually play out the Praetors at this point. I'm just going to take away both their wedding announcements. They could get rid of it, but they're going to instead scoop. Because I guess Elish Norn is just that scary. So that's the deck. That's some games. It's not great, but it's very fun and silly. It is very cool to be able to flip Realm Breaker and actually get some stuff out of it. Technically speaking, you could get 10 mana on board, and then play a Realm Breaker. Or like, sorry, get 13 mana on board, play a Realm Breaker, flip immediately. Very unlikely. If you've hit that point, you're probably just playing out your actual creatures. It's honestly kind of hard to get these things back in the deck. There's 2 different ways that I feel like this deck would run better. Either more scry effects to make sure you don't draw the Praetors when you don't need them, or just play around the Praetors more, include more copies of them, include less ramp, and make it more of a just like the Realm Breaker is a bonus in place of the deck. When it's the deck, it's kind of a giant pile of cheddar that depends on you flipping Realmbreaker and getting both Mother of Machines and Shieldred to kind of clean up the board, and Jin-Gitaxias to protect everything. Still super silly fun and great, though. Regardless of all that, thanks for everyone watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that. Helps the channel out greatly, and I hope to catch you in the next one.